Hello and welcome to the channel Leadership Evolution. My name is Jim Martinson and I am a professional leadership coach, and it's my passion to help new leaders and emerging leaders to grow in their leadership ability. Today we're talking about what to do when you're worried about what other people think about you. It's a common subject that comes up in my coaching. A lot of people come to me and they say, I just want people to like me. I wish that they would accept me. I don't want them to reject me. I want them to think well of me. It's a very common thing in my coaching, because we all want to be liked and we all want to be respected. And whenever we sense that other people don't like or respect us, that can be a real problem. So today we're going to talk about when you're worried about what other people think about you. And I'm going to invite you into a coaching session with me. If you were to dial me up on Zoom and you and I were to have a meeting together, this is kind of the process that I would walk you through to help you to deal with this idea of, do people like me or not? Speaking of liking, I hope that you'll like this video if it's helpful to you, and please subscribe so that you can be notified whenever videos like this come out in the future. That helps the channel grow, and as you can see, I'm pretty new at this and trying to get the channel to grow a little bit so I can help new leaders. So let's get started. What do you do when you're worried about what people think about you? And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to set aside whether or not people like you or respect you, because you can't do anything about what people think. You can't do anything about what people do. That's a sure recipe to be unhappy in life. So let's set aside for a minute whether or not people like you, whether or not people respect you, and what people think about you. Let's just set that aside. And let's talk instead about what you can control and what you can do something about, and that's the worry. I would like for you to treat worry as a mirror. When you're worried about something, it's usually because whatever that is that you're looking at is reflecting on you, and there's something inside of you that's causing you to be worried. You think you're worried because other people don't like you or other people don't respect you. But the truth is, you're worried because you don't like you. Maybe you don't respect you. There's something inside of you that's disconnected from the reality of who you really are. And because that's true, the worry manifests itself and projects itself out onto other people. So treat the worry as a mirror, and let's look inside for a minute and let's ask a question. It's kind of an uncomfortable question, but it's a question that has to be asked. And here it is. Do you like you? Now, if there's something inside of you that you don't like, that's going to manifest itself in all kinds of ways, and especially the way that you look at other people and treat other people. So do you like you is a question that I like to start with. And all of us can think about things about ourselves that we don't like. And so let's dive in for a second. Can you get out a piece of paper maybe and a pen and just start jotting down some of the things that come to your mind when you think about what you don't like about yourself? I mean, what are they? Maybe you don't like the way you look. Maybe you don't like the way that you were brought up. You don't like your education. You don't like the way that you communicate, the way that you talk. What is it? There's something about you that you don't like that we want to really put our attention on today. So let's go ahead and write that down. Your dislike for something that you haven't named is like an annoying, whirring kind of noise going on in the background of your subconscious. Have you ever been working in a room and suddenly you realize there's some irritating noise going on somewhere else in the room? And you're like, wow, man, it's been going on for a while now, and I'm just now realizing it, and boy, is that irritating. That's exactly how your subconscious works. When you are worried about something or afraid of something or angry about something that you haven't named, then your subconscious replays that over and over and over again. And what that can do is that can run in the background, kind of behind the scenes in your subconscious and really mess with you. So let's name it today. What is it that you don't like about yourself? If you're worried about whether or not people like you, it's probably because you don't like something about yourself. So what is it? Let's name that, and let's write it down on a piece of paper. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do, now that you've named something about yourself that you don't like, and by the way, the more serious it is, the better this exercise will work. I mean, I don't like that I have a big head, but there's nothing I can do about that. There are other things about me that I don't like that I would put down on my piece of paper, and I hope that you put down something serious. The next thing I would ask you to do is to accept it. Your feelings about what you don't like depend on what you do with them. Normally, whenever we have a feeling that we don't like about ourselves, anger, I'm irritated, I'm ashamed, I'm sad, I'm worried, instead of dealing with those feelings, we tend to ignore them, or we tend to push them away. We tend to distract ourselves with other things so that we don't have to deal with them. And when we do that, friends, we give that emotion, we give that feeling even more power. And so we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to give it our attention so that it does what it does. It comes, it stays there for a little while, and then it leaves. It might come back, but we know it's going to leave. But every time it arrives, we give it our attention. So, back to that thing that you wrote down on your piece of paper that you don't like about yourself. Let's accept that. Let's give it our attention. Let's just acknowledge that that is reality. You might say to yourself, well, I don't like the way that I was educated. I didn't have opportunities that everyone else has. And so I wasn't able to go to college or a university or whatever it is. And maybe that's what you don't like about yourself. Accepting it means you look at it and you just let it be. That's reality. Give it your attention. Love that it's there. Can you figure out a way to love the fact that you don't like your education? It's kind of a weird way to put it, isn't it? But when you put your attention on a feeling or on an emotion or on a thought, and you let it be there, and you love that it's there, in other words, you accept it, you're glad that it's there, that takes all the power away from it. So that thing that you don't like about yourself, it's real. And in many cases, there's really not a lot you can do about the fact that it's there. However, you can do something about the fact that you don't like that it's there. Yeah? So take a moment and put your attention on it and figure out a way to love that it's there. When you love what is, when you love reality, and you just allow it to be there and you put your attention on it, its power over you will dissipate. Okay, so you have something that you don't like about yourself. You've named it, and now you've accepted it. You're not trying to push it away or ignore it or fight it. You've accepted it. The next thing I would like for you to do is I would like for you to ask yourself a question. And here it is. What do I want? A lot of times we're good at noticing and talking about and describing what we don't want. Here's what I don't like about myself. Here's what is wrong. And we're really good at complaining and blaming and using all kinds of language around all the things that we notice are wrong, the things that we don't like, the things that we don't want to be there. And that's okay. It's a good starting point to notice what's wrong, because many times innovation and creativity and changing the world really starts with noticing something that's wrong. But it's only a starting place. If you keep your attention on what's wrong, then your focus and your energy will go toward what's wrong. So at some point, you've got to figure out, after you've decided what's wrong, you've got to figure out, what do I want? Where could this go? What is the potential? So this thing that you don't like about yourself, now that you've named it and you've accepted it, ask yourself, what do I want? By asking yourself that question, you're steering yourself in a positive direction that can really make a big difference in your life. Tony Robbins always says, where focus goes, energy flows. So take your focus off of what's wrong and what you don't like and put it on what you want, on the potential. I'll give you an example. I used to work for a large company, Fortune 100 actually, so huge company. And I was a middle manager there, and I had a lot of people that answered to me, and it was for me it was a very stretching experience. And I noticed early in my career there that when I walked into a meeting or had a conversation with somebody, especially one of my superiors, I noticed that they really didn't take seriously my opinions or the things that I said. And so that was something I didn't like about myself. It's something I didn't like at all. I didn't like that people weren't taking me seriously. When I asked myself, what do I want? I knew that I wanted people to take me seriously. I wanted people to value my opinion, to listen to what I was saying and consider it. And then I asked myself, well, what do I really want? Because underneath that, I really want people to respect me. But here's the thing, I can't really do much about what people think about me, so I asked again, what do I really want? What do I really, really want? So go down even another layer to get down to the real root of what it is that you desire. And what I discovered about myself is that I really wanted to be the kind of person that people can respect. So, you see how that works? I took something that was wrong, that people weren't taking me seriously. I shifted it to what I wanted. I want people to take me seriously. And then I asked myself, what do I really want? Well, I really want respect. And then what do I really want underneath that? And that is, I really want to be the kind of person that people can respect. So what is it for you? On your piece of paper, ask yourself, what do I want when you look at what you don't like about yourself? You've named it, you accept it, and now what do you want? Where do you want to go? What's the potential there? The last question I would ask you, if you and I were in a coaching session together and we were talking about this idea of you being worried about what people think about you, now that you've figured out that it's not that people don't like you, it's that you don't like yourself. Somebody once said that we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. So it's not that people don't like you, it's that there's something about yourself that you don't like. What is that? You've named it, you've accepted it, you're not fighting it now, you're not ignoring it, you're not pushing it away, you've accepted it. And now you've figured out what you want. And so my question to you at this point is, what are you going to do about it? Now that you know what you want, what action step could you take today to start moving toward the life that you want to create for yourself? What's the easiest, most pleasurable thing that you could do right now even to begin moving in that direction? Back to my example, when I worked for this large company and I knew that I wanted to be the kind of person that people can respect, I realized that I needed to become an expert in my operation. And the more that I knew about my business and the more of an expert that I became, the more people would respect my opinion about a business question. And so the first step that I took in that direction was I went into my operation and I spent time every day in a part of that operation that I understood the least. Before, I was avoiding those places because I didn't understand them. Now, because I want people to respect me and because I want to be the kind of person that someone can respect, I realized that I need to be an expert at this. And so I began spending time in all those places that I was avoiding previously so that I could become an expert. So what is it for you? You name something you don't like about yourself and you've accepted it and you know what you want. So now what's the first step that you can take to move in that direction? When are you going to start? Don't let yourself slide on that question, by the way. On your piece of paper, write down, when are you going to start? Friends, when you like yourself and you've accepted who you are, and when you respect yourself, you're going to find that everybody else in your world is going to like and respect you. Your worry about whether or not people like and respect you will just melt away because you like and respect yourself. So, do others like you? Wrong question. Do you like you? Do you respect you? If so, you'll find that it won't matter if other people like and respect you because you like and respect yourself. And your worry about what other people think will magically automatically melt away. I hope this has been helpful to you. There's so much more we could have talked about and said in here, but this is just a conversation starter. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below so that we can engage even deeper on this topic. And I hope that you'll hit that like button. I hope that you'll subscribe and help us grow this channel. And as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, keep evolving.